Hey folks, how you doing and welcome back to my channel. Now I got quite a few comments asking me if I could compare the Fossil Gen 5 and the OnePlus smartwatch, and this is what we're going to do today. Now this is not going to be a full in-depth review, but we're still going to compare the different battery lives, the features that we get with them and which not, and the activity tracking options and how accurate they actually are. And in the end, I will give you my personal opinion and which one I would buy. Obviously, since I already own both these watches, I don't have to choose, so lucky me. Now, if you want to see a full in-depth review about these two watches, I already did a video about both of them on my channel, so I will leave the links in the description below or put them over here in the pop-up boxes. We'll see. And also don't forget to click the notification bell to always be notified whenever I upload new videos. Now, with that being said, let's start. So first up, the design. And we're not going to go too deep into that since every brand has its own design and everyone else has its own taste. But the Fossil Gen 5 has 3 physical buttons on the side. The middle one is to go to the app menu and back, and the other 2 are fully customizable, meaning, for example, my lower button takes me straight to the sport mode and my upper one takes me to my contacts. The OnePlus watch is kind of similar to that, just with 1 button less. So the lower one is customizable and the upper one takes it to the app menu and back. If we talk about the watch straps, we feel and see a big difference between both of these watches. Now, the Fossil Gen 5 is very smooth, it is flexible and thin, whereas the fluor-elastomer strap of the OnePlus watch is a little bit thicker, therefore it is more durable, and with this line pattern on it, it looks better. Next up, the screen. As you can see, the OnePlus is a bit bigger than the Fossil. It has a 46mm case and a 1.39-inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 454 by 454 pixels, whereas the Fossil has a 44mm case and a 1.28-inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 416 by 416 pixels. So basically both watches are equally good in that department. So it's just a matter of taste if you want to have a bigger one or a smaller one on your wrist. Me personally, I like the bigger one. And now that we're already that deep into the specs, let's talk a little bit about the battery life. So the way we're going to compare these two watches is by turning the always display mode on, turn on the Bluetooth, put the brightness on auto adjust, and turn basically everything on that we need during this 12 hours time span. So we started with 100% on both watches, and after 12 hours, the OnePlus watch was at 75% and the Fossil Gen 5 was at 45%. Of course, if you turn off the always in display mode, it's probably like 80% and 60%, something like that probably. And also during this time span, I was doing a 30-minute bike ride with the GPS turned on, and yeah, that's what we basically get. Now the Fossil Gen 5 has 4 different battery modes. The only watch face one, the extended one, the daily one, and a customized one. So if you do a little bit of tweaking, you definitely get a lot more battery life out of it. As for next, let's talk about the activity tracking. Both watches have a rather accurate sleep tracking, which you can look up on the watch itself or check out on the OnePlus Health app or Google Fit app if we're talking about the Fossil Gen 5. So basically you get to see when you wake up or when to bed, sleep duration, and the length of your different sleep phases. The Fossil Gen 5 has a bunch of different sport workouts. I mean, I have not counted them, but you get at least 50, whereas the OnePlus watch now has over 100. Now both watches cover the basics like running, hiking, and swimming or cycling, and in addition to that, they have a bunch of other cool workouts available. Now as for the GPS and the accuracy of the OnePlus watch, I'm not that quite convinced. So in one workout, it was stopping midway through. So instead of my 6.5 kilometers bike riding, it only told me I was riding 3 kilometers. And that also screwed up my calorie count and my pace. Now, heartbeat wise, it was doing just fine, but the fact that it stopped midway through and the GPS isn't that accurate, it's a bummer. Now, don't get me wrong, I had several workouts on OnePlus watch where the tracking didn't stop midway through and the GPS was okay-ish, but that's just something I had to mention. So much as for the OnePlus watch, but if we're talking about the Fossil Gen 5, it did quite well. The GPS is very accurate. The heartbeat, the distance, the pace, the burn calories are quite accurate as well. So overall, that's a plus point for the Fossil Gen 5. As for the sensors, both watches have an accelerometer, a barometer, gyro, and a optical heart rate sensor. And in addition to that, the OnePlus watch also has a geomagnetic sensor, air pressure sensor, and a capacitance sensor. Next up, both watches have a built-in speaker and microphones, which means you can receive calls and talk to your friends right from your wrist. Of course, you can not only receive, but you can call your friends from your watch as well, as long as you have your smartphone with you. But the Gen 5 also has a voice assistant, which you do not have on the OnePlus watch. So by swiping left, we get to the Google Voice Assistant, and ask anything we want to. So let's give it a quick try. How is the weather in Germany?
Right now in Berlin, it's 73 degrees and partly cloudy. Today, it'll be mostly cloudy, with a forecast high of 80 and a low of 58.
As for next, let's talk about the notifications. It is no problem to receive emails, messages from Instagram, WhatsApp, or whatever on your watch, and it's fairly easy to read on both watches, even in bright sunlight situations. But we can only reply to those messages from the Fossil Gen 5, so we can either write something ourselves or choose one of the quick reply features. So again, Fossil is the winner. Now, just a little thing I have to mention, both watches have quite a few watch faces to choose from, and some are even customizable. So you can actually have some shortcuts to your different stats like steps, heartbeat, weather, or battery life. Both watches also have an alarm, timer, stopwatch, and a weather widget. So before we get to my opinion and which one I would buy, let me tell you some features you only get on the OnePlus and some features you only get on the Fossil Gen 5. So the OnePlus watch has an SpO2 tracker, stress tracker, and a camera function. So it can actually take photos with your smartphone from your smartwatch, whereas the Fossil Gen 5 has a Spotify, so you can download playlists or tracks. You have the Google App Store to download new apps and the Night Run Club. I mean, the OnePlus watch also has 4 GB of internal storage, but no Spotify or Deezer, so you actually have to transfer music files from your smartphone to your smartwatch. Now that we got all of that out of the way, let's get to my opinion and which one I would buy. Now, first off, both watches are not bad, but if I would have to choose, I would go with the Fossil Gen 5. And I know, I praised the OnePlus watch so much in one of my latest videos, but after taking a second look at it, it is not that good, or not as good as the Fossil Gen 5. Now with the Fossil Gen 5, you have Spotify and Deezer, so you can download music files directly to your smartwatch from Spotify. You have more accurate GPS, you have more features, and you can reply to messages. And that's just more important to me. Now folks, that's already it for the video. If you like it, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and with that being said, see you next time. Peace.